Hello YouTube, it is Damien, it is the Journeyman with a twist, and today here at Genk we have a transfer business to talk about, squad planning, squad depth, and a couple transfers that we have already made. Now, this episode we're going to do a bit of a talk and a bit in depth here about what, today's day, about what we're doing and the new signings, etc., and then have a chat about everything else. But the first place to start is we have spent money, and there is a player that we will talk about there in William Saliba, who I want. But as you can see, 3.75 mil transfer budget remaining and 29.2k in the payroll is not particularly enough money. But it is what it is. In terms of the team, Malcolm Valkanis is in charge of them, the Australian. Wow, that's a throwback. Adelaide United, anybody? But yeah, we've got UPenn coming up in 20 days' time. There is enough time to go and see what we can do, and obviously to go and make some transfer business and transfer signings. Now, we're going to go straight into here and go to the first tab. I like using buildlineup.com to, when I'm new to a club or new to a season, about exactly what do you need. This season isn't about me building a squad that is going to go win the league or win the cup, win the Champions League, you name it, right? Now, I have been pretty blessed. If we go back to the league, we're currently top by 2 points. Europa League already through the group. Yes, we lost to Arsenal last episode, which we could have top group, that's fine. We then just beat Shoalao 3-0 in the quarter-final of the group. And to be quite fair, on top of that, the semi-final we've got is Dienzi. Now, we've also got Lazio in our first knockout round game as well in Europe, but we should be making the final of the Belgian Cup. Lazio depends on how well we play, but, there's potentially a second round and even with a good draw, a quarter-final in Europe in our first season in Belgium and in European football, and we've only been here for not even a month. We're in a very good spot. So, you've got to be very, very happy to the outgoing coaches at Hervé Berlin. I can never remember his name because he's built pretty good of a squad. Hervé Berlin. There we are. Who was the coach's name? Brendan Stork. I'm very happy. Thank you very much. He was the coach here originally, and he's built one hell of a squad. And they played sometimes a diamond, so the boys know the roles. It's good. But back to the team and back to the build your lineup. That is on screen your first 11. Now, as you can see there is definitely players that we can talk about that I don't think I want full-time starting, but are good enough to do a role this year. And those are notably Artega, Munoz, Peter. Now, if I have a look at Artega, Munoz, and Peter, who should be in here, Munoz is very good, but as I say, he's wanted. He could get good money. I could get a younger kid. It's not a bad little thing to do, right? Not bad. Secondly, Artega is very handy at 25, but he's on a squad backup. If I can find a better left back and this guy comes in as the backup left back, we are in a really good spot, and that means I can sell the other backup left back in Simon, who is probably not as good. He's 29, get a couple mil for him, get his wage off. It's not too bad. Maybe one of the spots we need, but in the first season, and especially being so new to the club, and on top of that, not having overly a lot of resource in terms of money just yet, there's probably going to come to a point where we sell a few of these lads and we'll get plenty of it. We need to be a little bit more selective of the money that we spend. And so the question marks ensue. We could go for 2 fullbacks, don't need to. Sadalek is an unbelievable centre-back, and I love him to bits. We have rotated, obviously, because we played a few games in the Cup, and he was I think he was suspended, actually. And he's pretty good. And now, look, he's wanted by a lot of clubs. He has, an optional 1-year trigger, which I will look to extend as well. I want him sticking around because he's one of the best centre-backs in the league. But, if someone gave me 25 to 30 million, we get 80% of that, we might need to sell as well. But 23-year-old Spaniard was at La Coruña, who we did a save with. Not bad. But yet again, that does leave me one spot where I have Aziz, who's not good enough at centre-back, and I've got, obviously, there as well, wherever Varane is. He's actually starting because Sadalek did not play. And they're both on squad contracts, and they're both young enough that they could maybe develop, but they're both young enough to keep around for a couple of years while I go and maybe spend money on the first actual 11. So hence why the question mark's in here. Hence why we're looking at Saliba. Now, Saliba, there's a little bit of issues. I don't think we're going to be able to get him. Now, in terms of the midfield and the middle of the park, I've left Peter in the starting 11 Peter's very good. He knows what he's doing. He's 31, and he's very good with the ball and very good technique. I don't have no qualms in playing him as the Mazzala on attack. I really don't. I think he's fantastic there. But ideally, I think Christian is your Mazzala on attack eventually. And we need someone to go do that sort of role. He is a little bit slower, but he's not too bad. But he's not a natural box-to-box with a lack of tackling ability. He has got some interest in him throughout my time here, my very brief time, but nothing crazy. But Lee's Abigail, squad player, ball-winning midfielder, and if he's your best ball-winning midfielder, you're not going to do anything in Europe. So we need a ball-winning midfielder. Those are your two spots when it comes to the first 11. Now, on top of that, if you look at the reserve side, I've had a chat with the stream. There are links down below live on stream. Genk's known for very good youth. And when I mean very good youth, I mean like I have taken a couple of the best youth guys in here. And, you know, you still got Ruben Chavez who can't get a game. And you still got, Sammy who can't get a game because, well, realistically, I'm not playing wingers and they're very good. And the youth candidates, actually, it's not meant to be particularly any good, which is unlike Genk, who got an excellent intake. Something tells me this will be one of those times where it turns around and Ronalds has actually produced a worldie of a player and we'll be right, but we'll wait and we'll see. But we're in a very, very, very good spot. You know, like Barrett Allison's only got that potential. He's 16. He's good. But we do have some young kids that I need to introduce you to in the reserve side. But on top of that reserve side as well, as you can see, I've got a couple of boys you don't know, Aziz Ruan, the other back at left back and the other back at right back. Now, if I can go down and get through this year with what I've got and then get a 2 right back and left backs next year, we can sell these two. It's fine. Abigail, if we get a ball-winning midfielder in, which I already have, and I'll introduce you to him in a second, can come out and be the backup here. Simpson's one of the youngsters. Ken Deck is one of the youngsters. Big Ken's one of the youngsters that leaves you. Can we find a box-to-box or a ball-winning midfielder? And can we find a striker? I've already got news for you. We have a striker, and you know who it is. So introducing your new signings here as well for you. It's Joel Decker from Australia. That's right, Joel Decker's here. We've brought him in, 1.2 mil release fee, coming in to play as the advanced forward or as the pressing forward either side. Does not bother me which one it is, with that speed and that ability. And he will be your backup man on this screen here. As you can see, that is now going to become Decker. But more importantly, I know it kills me to say that about my big man, we have got an absolute bargain. Rafael Onadenk is one of those ball-winning midfielders that grow into an absolute monster. In terms of the club vision, we want to sign players that will play for the first team that under 23 for the level. Onadenk is one of them. He is so physically well-rounded at 22. He is so mentally well-rounded and technically well-rounded as a ball-winning midfielder and defend. He is coming in to be an absolute star. And more importantly, it's 8 mil that it cost me, but it cost me 1.6 mil up front. And with us have lacking transfer budget, that is absolutely massive. So then your team all of a sudden goes, Van der Perry, who I don't think is good enough, comes out, wherever Odenka comes in, does that, your team looks all of a sudden a lot better. Very, very nice to see. On top of that, you guys might be thinking who Big Ken is. That's obviously Kenny de Jong. And look, to be quite fair, he's done quite well. 6'3", he's actually got a goal in a couple of games that I have played him in, so he's looked pretty good, which is nice. Peter Simpson is the hot prospect here, and I've started playing him as a Mazzala, backup Mazzala. Anyone who's got 16 technique and 15 passing at 17 is usually going to be pretty good. So there's Peter Simpson. And then on top of that as well, you guys will get to see young Decker as well, wherever he is here. Not our Decker, but the other one as well in Dex. Where did Dex go? I can't see Dex anywhere. Dex? Kevin Deck? I'm missing one. Where's Decker? Ken Deckers, there he is. Ken Deck is the other one. Just feel like this guy, with the ability that he has, don't know why he's in the under 18, should be in the senior squad and then available to be in the 18s, because I want to play him in the whole, is going to be training to become your shadow striker. And again, I look at him and I go 20 determination, decent passing technique and work rate, physically a monster. I do know he's 5'2", but he's someone that could probably just be, okay, let me go and do my job. And I think he's going to be very good. Don't know why he wasn't there in the first place, but yeah, it's learning to play in there. I've already set this up already, but that's fine. And he needs to learn how to do his final third. But that's the sort of thing that I'm trying to do, is maybe get guys like that to go in. You also got Boris Boland, who could play in the shadow striker. Like, Boris Boland's a bit more I am a striker, and he's actually not too bad. He's actually probably should be the guy, to be fair, because I think this guy maybe is actually a little bit better as well. So maybe you see Boris Boland play through the middle, and I think he needs to learn how to play final third as well and get that off. And just, get him maybe learning how to play through the middle. We've got a lot of good kids. And being that we have a lot of good kids, if you have a look at this reserve side, there we are, that reserve side's quite good. Now, it does leave me one spot where I'm lacking. And I guess what we could do, depending on how we go transfer-wise, is actually get Van der Perry just to play. Because Van der Perry, as much as I've never got this kid to grow, he's actually not too bad. He's mentally really good as a footballer, and he probably can do a job. But at the same stage, I do think as a box-to-box, he wouldn't be the worst either as well. And just putting him out there, letting him go with the physicality and the mentals is not the worst thing, I think, either for a Van der Perry to do as well, which might be the option. Now it leaves you with Odenecker, who's come in, and Joel Decker, and Odenecker straight away is going to learn to probably work on that defensive positioning, because he definitely could become an absolute destroyer, like a Fabinho type lad. And you look at the team and you're like, yeah, that's a pretty strong 11. Now, on top of that, though, you want Seleka into here for Varane and Aziz to come out eventually, but we'll leave Aziz there for now because of his form. But then you're looking at people who you can sell, and, if you go back to here, you might not see it in front of my face, but, if I just take off the webcam, there we are. We get 80% whatever gets sold on for, and we do have some people on the way out. So we have a couple of transfer offers made for this guy. I'm just going to accept him because I don't know who he is. He's a 20-year-old keeper. He's a breakthrough prospect. I'm not selling him. He's the backup. That's glad we clicked. There we are. But straight away, I've got 2.5 mil hoping to come in for Baston Toma. Ito, who is one of the big hierarchy lads, is on his way out because I don't play with wingers and he's not good enough to play up front. And we've got 1.2 mil coming in for him there as well, which I don't think you guys could see because of my face, but that's perfectly fine. So we're in not bad spot with that. What it leads me to now is we need a centre-back, and I'm very happy with the squad. But then it also goes, if I have some money left over, a box-to-box midfielder would be delightful. And then that's big ticks. And straight away, I'm looking at William Saliba. Now, he is leaving to go and, end a contract, and OJ Nice have just made a bid. At the same time, we've gone in for 16 mil. Now, it's not a true 16 mil. I don't have really much money, and I need to get him to try and get me a contract. And because of my lack of wage, I'm also trying to get Arsenal to pay a bit of wage for him as well. Now, I don't want to pay as much as my budget is, but I'm happy to just do like that. It's 22 mil. That's a guaranteed 15 mil for Saliba, which I know he's good. Now, the reason why I'm chasing Saliba is he's 22 and he's a ball-playing defender extraordinaire. He's 6'4", he's physical, he's got good mentals, and he's technically all-rounder. Now, is he elite? No, but he's someone that could come in, play 2 years of good football here at Belgium, and develop into an elite centre-back. And I think I would love to be part of that journey. Also, getting him on a free means he's going to come in 6 months' time. Getting him now means he can come in and help us win the league, the cup, and maybe go on a run. So going after Saliba is something that I want to do. I'm happy with that. All right. 2.8 mil up front. We pay 4.33 mil every installment over 13 mil. Pays 2.5 mil for every time he plays in the league, 50 games. We pay him 2.5. If he plays 20 times for France, which he's never played for France, I don't think, means he's grown into a world-class centre-back, that's fine. And if we actually win the Europa League, we give him a mil. I don't mind that. We'll see what sort of contract Saliba wants. We'll do that in this episode as well. He wants to be a regular starter. 20 to 26k I can afford. We'll see what we can do. Regular starter important. I'm not going to give you a big wage rise. I'm happy to do that. Happy to improve the coaching team. Happy to do that. Not going to improve the midfielders just yet because I don't have the money. He wants 26. I can't offer him more than 9. Are you serious, game? Come on. $19. Do a bit of that. Bit of that. Bit of that. Bit of that. I'm happy to let him go for 27 for now and suggest that. Well, we could get him here. All right, we need to give him some sell-on percentage. If we actually lose you can have 5% as well of what you go for. Because this would be huge. If we win the Europa League, you can have that. And if you actually get caps for France, you can have a little bit of that too. Nice. Saliba could come in now. It's 27 mil release fee, which I don't like. But it would protect our financial interest in William Saliba, which is fine. We'll actually make a slight profit if he went for 27 mil. But more importantly, I think you get him in, you get a new set of wage, and there you are as well. So Saliba, we have a contract offer for. That's fine. Then that ticks off this spot here. I am then happy. If I get a centre-back to partner Sadilek, along with the rest, I am then happy. With Oppeneka, Sadilek, and Joel Decker coming in, I'm happy with the squad. On top of that, if I then can make a sale or two, which we'll definitely look at doing, then I'm happy. And people like Theo's a winger. Don't care, you're going. Brian, not really going to play for me. He actually could be a box-to-box, a backup box-to-box, to be fair to him. But I'm going to sell him anyway because may as well play younger players. Tom is leaving. Perfect. And then the rest are all youngsters. If we can get somewhere between 5 to 8 mil between them, there's a world where we can maybe get another midfielder. Now, the thing is the board want me to sign people that are under 23 for the first team. If there's a midfielder that's like anywhere between 23 to 29 that's particularly good and on the cheaper side, I will go for that as well. But yeah, that is that. All right, so this first part of this episode here, YouTube, no 60 minutes quite wordy, is done. But the main takeaways is we need a centre-back and a DM in the first team squad. We've got Oppeneka already, so he's in the DM as well, which is perfectly fine. And then on top of that, we also then have got, apparently he's not been team registered. No, send on the alternative language course. Just learn Dutch. Let's do this before I forget. Luca, no. Oppeneka in. Joel Decker. Under 21 players don't need to be registered. Doesn't matter what nationality they're from. That's the best. But Decker's in. That's fine. But yeah, on top of that, we need a centre-back, and hopefully it's Saliba. And then, if we have any money left over after cutting out some dead wood, we need probably a box-to-box if we can as well. Important to note, we always have very good youth. We just don't have any real midfielders coming through at the minute, but hopefully we can find one. This kid would do a job. Mate, you're not bad. He's 18. He's a shadow striker, man. We've got really good attacking midfielders. We just don't have anyone that can play back here. Saying that, though, it's a box-to-box. He's not bad. This kid might play box-to-box. Mika Gotas. Another one that we've picked up out of nowhere. Don't mind him at all. All right, boys, we'll be back. Don't go anywhere. We'll see where this window takes us. Welcome back, YouTube. It is the 18th of January, and we have transfer news, but it ain't the transfer news that you would like to know. Unfortunately, William Saliba, after having the whole entire world come after him, I'm meaning Leipzig, and I'm meaning plenty of other clubs, he's chosen to go to Atlanta on a free. I really wanted him to come play centre-back. Unfortunately, though, he has not come in. Now, on top of that as well, the board want me to sign under 23 players, and there's definitely players that I want to have a look at as well. More importantly, put the transfer budget, that is kind of where it's got. We've got it up to 10 mil and 107k in the payroll budget, which is huge, and this is how we've done it. We go to the transfer and we go by outs, and we probably go by date of outs, and then we can go and have a look. So what we've done here is Ito is left for 1.2 mil. We've sold him on there to Alaves, probably about what he's worth. It's not bad. We sold Tomaron for 2.5 mil to RC Lens. Could have been a very good backup player, but yet again, if I'm going to give opportunities to guys off the bench and playing in and around, I want them to be a bit younger. Obviously, Genk's philosophy is a bit of a progression, and on top of that being a bit of progression, they also like to have under 23 players playing for the first team. So selling Toma made a lot of sense. Frees up some wage as well because he was on about 10 or 12k. Makes a lot of sense to get him out. My goal here, like I've mentioned already, is I'm going to mention it again, is I want a strong first 11, and I want guys that are 18 to 23 to come in and fill a role and develop with me, because I want to be here for 3 years. And that 3 years, I want to run at the Europa League. I want to get through the group stage of the Champions League once, and I want to win the Belgium Cup and the League back to back. That is the goal. It's a lefty goal. It's a hofty goal. It's a quite a high goal. It's a hefty goal. That's what I was trying to say. But I believe it's achievable. But we'll wait and we'll see. We then sold Brian Spezia for 3.6 mil. To get 3.6 mil for him was an absolute joke. I loved every second of it. Spezia must be absolutely desperate for a centre mid, but there we go. Theo probably went for a bit less than I would have liked, but 2.4 mil to young boys. I really wanted about 4 to 5, but he was on 25k a week here. So to get 15, nice. 15k in terms of that, and then there's a loan as well. But that's all tallied up to 23 mil in terms of what I've done. But in terms of what I've done, about 2, 5, 7, 8, plus all the other mils, you're looking at about 10 mil that we've made, which kind of tells you that the 10 mil that we got here is huge. It does mean, however, we still need players. And what we need, definitely a centre-back to come in and partner Sadik, who we just rejected a 20 mil bid from Leipzig for. He wants to play Champions League football, so do I. He's happy to stay if we do it. And then on top of that, we also want to go in and try and get a midfielder to play box-to-box to allow Christian to play in the Mazzala. And we're going to talk about a couple of those lads right now, and we're going to have a look at the scouting knowledge that I'm going for. So centre-back, unfortunately, we've got 2 ways we can go about it. Get a really experienced centre-back that can do a job, right? And that wants to maybe take a bit of a wage cut because we don't have the biggest amount of wage. We've got 107 now, but my board's only let me spend 22 apparently. And there's no one really that particularly wants to come. Ethan Apadou was an option for not too much money from Chelsea, but he wants 50k a week, and I'm not paying 50k. But you've got guys that are around here that aren't too bad, and I'm just going to touch on a few. You've got Dennis Almeida from Barca. 19, decent, physically well-rounded, mentally well-rounded, technically well-rounded. Maybe a bit of a stretch, but he could grow. I think the one, if I was going to go for a Barca option, is actually Arna Casas. Now, the reason why is I think he's a touch better. He is a little bit more expensive, but I think he could be more of a first-team option if you got him in earlier, right? And then on top of that as well, the one that I'm really thinking I'm leaning towards is Mario Kadenich. Now, Kadenich is on a really cheap bid. So once the scout report comes in, I think Kadenich is the one with the money that it's going to cost. Unfortunately, he's torn a hamstring off the bone, and he's out for another 2 months. I still reckon you take him. You run 3 centre-backs for now, and Opanenko, if he needs to, if there was a centre-back crisis, can fill in at centre-back in the league. It probably means he might not be ready for the European first round against Lazio, which was probably going to be your next episode, YouTube. But look at him. He's 19. He's got so many 15s already. He's very well-rounded. I'm quite liking to go down that route there with Mario Kadenich. Then you're thinking box-to-box or Mazzala. Now, if I go with the Mazzala option, Isco, as much as I don't want to go down the Isco route because of how much money he is interested. And he's freaking amazing. Does like the physicals, but he's freaking amazing what he does. I could go for him. Then there's Dennis Zakaria. 60 mil is probably too much for me, but he would be an elite box-to-box. Julian's another one. 600k, he probably is just looking for a little bit. He's also someone that we could bring in and allow Opanenka actually to play box-to-box, and he plays ball-winning midfield and defend, which he's quite good at. But he's also someone that can come in and tutor a few of the young boys, and I'm actually leaning a lot this way with the 600k. Pobega, I actually put it off for him because my scout report says, hey, he only wants 11 to whatever. It did say 11 to 15k now, wants 41 to 54 because he's got bids. I'm not going near him. And then you might know some other people on this list, like Taliso maybe could come in for 26, but I don't think we're going to get him in. And yeah, I think the big one that we could go for is another one that's not exactly ready, but someone that could be ready. And that is Matthias Franca. I've never used him on FM, but I know that he's always been a bit around the run the kid mark. He's not like, oh my God, great. There's definitely some holes in his game. But as a box-to-box, 13 tackling, 15 passing, 14 technique, 13 work rate, very good physicals at 6 foot, I think this guy could definitely go in box-to-box and do a job. With that being said, I might go down his route knowing that they want 8.75 mil at the max, and there's definitely a world where I could probably get Matthias Franca and Kadenich in and provide a very good base to build on next season if we get a bit more money. I don't know how much of the money you do get here in Belgium, but I hear it's not too bad. We also have some very sellable assets, especially if Joel Decker gets going. As much as I love Papa Pooley, this guy's worth 32 to 35 mil at 29. If someone came in and said here's 45 to 50 million for him, I would be like, see you later. I've got Joel Decker. But we'll wait and we'll see. So we'll come back yet again, YouTube. We'll recap this Eupen game against Malcolm Van Canis' side. And probably Zulti. as well. And the main reason why is it could come down to a little bit of a deadline day special, but we'll wait and we'll see in this episode that is turning into a bit of a transfer special. Welcome back, YouTube. Here we are. We've just played a game against UPenn, which we'll start with first, just to give you guys a little bit of league action. We did win the game 2-1. We absolutely obliterated them. 33 shots, 4 XG, only found 2 goals, which was quite annoying, and they scored with their first shot and only shot on target. So, yeah, one of those games that you always feel like you're going to get FM'd in, but mercifully you didn't. And then we'll talk about what the rest is going in. But good movement, hit the bar, lucky to fall to Afino, who is our best striker. Yet to get a goal out of Papapoli. Like, he won the Golden Boot last year, and he scored goals for fun up until, I've joined. Can't get him to score, which is annoying. Anyway, good move. Patrick, it's not Peter, it's Patrick, scores. There's definitely part of me that wants him to be part of the reserves, but he's banging him in that we might leave it as it is. But I have made a bid for a midfielder, and we'll talk about that as well. But more importantly, we've also made a bid for a centre-back that is coming. Let's start with that one first. His name is Mario Kadenich. I did mention him. He got a very good scout report. Now, this is obviously all along of his analysis report saying that, he doesn't play enough. And, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. He's only played 12 games for Dynamo this year, which is not bad at all. I'm caring about the scout report. It's a B+. And he's a Pro League level player already at 3 stars. So he's already coming in to be equal second choice with, Odenenka, who's the midfielder, Ruan as well. Danny Munoz can also fill in at centre-back and as is. But he's unbelievably unbelievable. Second thing is, when you see a guy with those sort of physicals and those sort of mentals, with so many 15s and 19, just pick him up. I think there's a lot of stats, and if people have watched my streams, I know that I do the good old, if he's between 17, he's doing 15 to 18, anything that's 10 plus will probably get to about 13 to 15, especially 11, anything that's 12 will, and then at 19 to 20, anything 12 plus will get to 15, and after 21, anything that's 13 gets to 15 if you train him really well. And if that's the case, you've already got 1, 2, 3, determination because it's there, we'll give it a 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stats that are already 15 plus out of a possible, I think, 23 stats that are really good to be a star elite centre back. He's then got balance and strength that will get there pretty quickly. So that's already 9. He's already got to 11. And then you're looking at a lot of 13s and 12s. So then you got 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Maybe 18. Work rate doesn't go as much. 18 there for sure. 18 there for sure. So let's go 19. 20, 21, like you're looking at 21 stats, 15 plus by the time this kid's maybe 24. Now, we may be gone by then, but he might be a guy that we develop and grow. So he's coming in, he's pretty happy with it. It's 6.2 mil, which is his release fee, comes out the 14 mil that we had. But he's coming in to be a squad player this year. He's coming in to be the number 1 alongside Sadlik, and hopefully gets fit for the Champions League game coming up as well. But I think that's a great little pickup there for Mario Kadenich. He is going to be out for the next 5 weeks or 2 months. That's fine. But if we go to the schedule, we go to the game where Lazio is. As you can see here, Kadenich is unregistered, but it doesn't say anything about him being injured. Yes, it does. He's still out. Okay, so he might be back for the second leg. He will probably be back for the second leg of the semi-final of the cup. Now, look, at the end of the day, I don't mind. Now, the second thing that we have gone for is, I did say, I don't know which way we're going to go with in terms of transfer-wise, who we're going to bring in, but we've gone for Julian. We've made the bid, come in to be a ball-winning midfielder, move Odeneka into the box-to-box. I know Patrick just started banging in goals, but if Patrick's coming off your bench, you've got a pretty good starting 11, and I'm happy with that. More importantly, though, he's had a bid from Wolves as well. And Wolves are giving them a touch little bit more money. But we've got a contract in. If he says yes, great. If he says no, there's definitely part of me that now wants to go for Franco, who apparently is not in my shortlist. Franco? Flamingo, FAL. Players and Franco, wherever he is. Love when I do this. Mateus Franco. There we go. Like, he's got a good scout report. We could get him less than his release fee. And he's a decent box-to-box. Now, this goes down the route of, I want to build something for 30 years and have this team bang absolutely unreal baller. Yeah. But I also want to have some experience to lead that. And I think Julian's a better option. But we'll wait and we'll see. I'm not too sure. Maybe we go for him, maybe we don't. But definitely to add him into the shortlisted, definitely, which I thought I did already. But we'll be back in terms of deadline day. I'm definitely going to recap Zult and sell to Bruges. But if Julian joins, then I'll be back to show you that Julian's joined and we won't be spending any more money. Got 8 mil left. Got 95k in the wage. Let's see what we bring in. Let's see what happens on deadline day. Hello, YouTube. It is deadline day. We have money that could be spent. There's people that do want a few of our players as well. But welcome to deadline day. Attracting interest, as you can see, is apparently Ortega, Munoz, Aziz, Sadik still got it, and apparently Van der Perry's wanted as a transfer from Leeds. I would take 5 mil on deadline day for him. Contract expiring is on Big Ken. Apparently his contract's expiring. I'm going to give him definitely a new deal now. That's for sure. Big Ken ain't going anywhere. It's Big Ken. There you are. Well done, Big Ken. And the listed players, obviously, we're trying to get... Apparently Gottes is listed. I did not list him. Shouldn't be listed. Loan listed. That's fine. No dramas at all. I got to worry there. But then Lewis Openda would love to sell on deadline day if someone wanted to come in for him as well. I know he's fairly new to the club, but he doesn't fit me and I want the wage off the books. In terms of that though, Julian is yet to make a decision. He's yet to make a decision. 650k, we've gone in, accepted. If he comes in, great. If not, there is definitely a world where we need to keep Patrick playing because the form at 31 has just been out of this world. Like, literally, he's just been averaging an 8.5, an 8.2, a 7.7, and an 8.2 is this Mazzala. Since I've come in, it's been Mazzala and just he's looked out of this world. And our first game, he scored a hat-trick. He got a hat-trick of assists from the Mazzala role. So I think we need to play him. So if we don't get Julian, I'm tempted to actually leave the midfield as it is, but then get Franca to come in at the end of the season. But we'll wait and see how that goes. Now, in terms of what we just did, we just beat Zult 3-0. Absolutely pumped in. Can I just say, Papapouli, who won Golden Boot last year, the Nigerian international, which is on Nachu, has been playing over an 8. An 8, a 7-4, 7-1 his last 3 and played, pretty decently against Arsenal and whatever. He can't score a goal to save his life. I feel so bad. He's hit the post and the bar a few times. So many times at 6'7", he wins a header and it hits the outside of the post. But in the end, we dominated this game and we did win it. As you can see, Papapouli missing a head ball because it was that tall. And then back in and Patrick in the right area. It's getting to a stage where I might play Patrick because his form's so good. We do look really good in the league, but we're yet to play anyone of note. Penna's ball in there because we do have an injury there to Munoz, but Afina does score and he scores double. And this goal that Afina scores here is quite nice. He makes a good run. As you can see, he makes a good run, picks it up, first time cross keeper, as no nonsense as it gets. In terms of what we're going to do here, though, is just about us simming and seeing if we get any bids, if we decide to, do anything, and then, see how they go from there. Now, I'm not looking to sell anybody. I'm looking to bring in maybe Julian, and that's it. Zid ain't leaving, don't care. And Jackson never mind. Aziz has been playing super duper well. Like, Aziz is going to be playing first team football till Kadenich is ready. Loan to buy there for Julian. We'll just see how we go here. So Swaller make a loan to buy for Julian. It's up to Julian, then it's up to us if we're actually going to buy. So we got an A negative here, which means he's going to be decent. From Abia Warriors, Nigerian international. Not bad. I don't mind this. Another A negative there from Boca, right wing back. Fairly physical at 18, not bad. Captain of the under 23 level. Anyone else in this list? Couple of C pluses. Guy from Inter, keeper. Has got 5-star potential. Not bad keeper at 6'2". Right, we might actually have to go through this list. Danny Sevenson. Wanted for $1 million. Pretty decent. Don't need him. Right back wanted. Mikel Anderson, we know all about him. Yannick, centre back, don't need him. Calvallo, don't need him. Sergi Lopez at right back, wouldn't be bad. Keeper's not bad. The Boca guy's not bad. They get less than a C minus, then I don't really want to care. No word on Julian. Do we get him? If we get him, it's great. We don't get him, then on we go. We also have a gain today as well. Would love this to get tied up. Guy goes out on loan. This guy comes up yet again. So seeing negative's no good. But this guy comes up again. Would be a free. It wouldn't be a free, actually. He's not bad. He's got very good mentals for an 18-year-old. Feel like we get better, though. Inbox of 4. Julian goes. Julian goes to Sassuolo. On loan with an option to buy. YouTube, I'm on live on the stream. Links down below if you want to come follow us live. Twitch chat, I need you right now. You better be listening. Do you go and buy a midfielder on deadline day, or do you leave the team as it is? Dennis Perret's available for 7 mil. Ooh, Belgium. Dennis Perret available for 7 mil. Ooh, wish he had a bit more physical. Good passing ability. What at the minute buy Fiorentina and Sevilla? He probably wants too much money. Do we go having a look? Do we go have a look for a midfielder? Cooper Mine is not good enough. Apparently Nicholas Nardi apparently has 5-star potential. I'm telling you right now, anyone that's 23 that has this never hits it. Ethan's requested a move. Could go for Ethan as well. Titi's been listed for 9.4. Brucker might be the option as a box-to-box. You bring him in, you let him go. And you just say, mate, go grow. Maybe we just bring him in now. Guess we don't have to play him straight away. I guess we can keep letting Patrick play if he wants to take a rotation off the bench and then eventually get him playing. That's something we could do. They're happy to take 6 mil and 56k per game, which is 6.5 mil. With 30% profit on next sale. We'll do that. We'll definitely, before we do that though, go here. I've been searching like youngsters and whatever that come up on this list. I definitely will go a new search by listed. And then have a look. Montreal listed. Souza for 100k listed. Very good, but yeah. Leeds want 20 mil. Perret for 7. Rodrigo for 850. If he wants to play in the 10, it's a shadow striker. But where do you play Owen? Owen doesn't play anywhere else but there. Rodrigo's a Mazzala. 850k, Rodrigo's Mazzala. Bumeyang's listed. Jordan Vedder 2 listed. He is so good. Jordan is a box-to-box, 550k. Roma just want the wage off. It's just too much wage. Look at that. 17 penalty taking, 16 passing, teamwork, vision, work rate, can tackle, physically good. It's 39k a week. Most we can offer is 30. Do or die. Never mind. Could have maybe got something in there. Isco's listed for 3.3, but not the midfielder we need. Tolo is not bad. Then it's Zakaria, they want 15. Gaston Ramirez only want 40k, but he's not worth it. Silvestri is not good enough anymore. Ethan might be the one. Loftus-Cheek's available for 1.3, but he wants 100k a week. I always know what Loftus-Cheek wants. So dumb. He's dumb. Matty Cash has ended up at bloody Bayern. Makes sense. Trevor, they want 22 mil for. Would go for him. Yeah, I want Dennis Zakaria, but I can't get him in, I reckon, boys. Philip Billing, not bad as well. I know he's pretty decent. It may be getting Frunker in. I think that's where we go. He wants to be a squad player. That's fine. I'm happy with all of that. Give me a 40 mil release fee because it covers a lot of profit. I think it's Frunker on deadline day, boys. Anyone else on the agents list here? Johnny Margetts, nice name. Reminds me of my Margetts. Anyone else? Another Trevor bid. Wolves signed Trevor, that's fine. Can't believe we didn't get Julian, but that's fine. Here he is. Deadline day we signed Matheus Franca. Your box to box, your backup box to box midfielder is a 19-year-old Brazilian. Unreal. Unreal. Back on the 5th of the 2nd. Of course, he's away with Brazil, but that's fine. In that case, then, YouTube, that's the end of the episode. We've done what we needed to do. That's the end of deadline day for me. I've got no money left. We said we needed a ball-winning midfielder. We got Odenanka. We said we needed a centre-back, and we have got Kadenich. We then said if we had the money, we'll get a box-to-box midfielder in. And we have got Franca. We've done what we needed to do. But on top of all that, we've got our boy Joel Decker in as well. We have a good squad. That is the squad. Now it's a question of where we finish. Next time we see each other, it's either going to be for a big league game or it's going to be for Lazio in the first knockout round of the Europa League. Till then, I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.